All right, let's dive into something a little different today. This isn't your typical analysis. We're stepping into a dark philosophical parable, one that's just packed with meaning. So, our job here is to peel back the layers and really explore this allegorical world, a place where falling is winning and a shadow can be an anchor. Let's get into it.
Right from the get-go, the story hits us with this really powerful, unsettling line. You've got the Prince of Darkness, and he's not disappointed in his followers' downfall. He's proud of it. So right away, this just flips everything we think we know about success and failure on its head. In this world, a fall is actually a victory, a kind of testament written in blood that proves his entire philosophy. And that brings us to this absolutely crucial word, Untergang. Now, it doesn't just mean downfall in a negative sense. Think of it more like a sunset. Yeah, the sun is descending, but it's this profound, natural, totally transformative event. Using this word here changes everything. This isn't a story about damnation. It's about a very deliberate, purposeful journey downwards into a whole new way of being.
So here's the path we're going to follow through this abyss. We'll start with the prince and his pride, then meet the dark guide he sends. We'll look at the choice they have to make and the brutal terms of their transformation. After that, we'll see the real purpose behind this trial, right before we witness the journey truly begin.
Okay, first up, the prince's sovereign pride. So from his throne, deep in the abyss, he's watching his two star pupils, you could say, the tarantula preacher and the synthesized Wiccan. And when he looks at their journey, he doesn't see some tragic failure. Nope, he sees a perfect reflection of his own worldly wisdom.
And this right here, this is the core of the prince's philosophy. Their Untergang is the ultimate expression of his will to power. It's not about them being destroyed. It's about them embedding his shadow, his worldview, right into the human world. For him, this isn't corruption, it's creation. It's a sacred yes to the earth that totally rejects what he calls the tepid virtues of the sun.
So his acolytes are on their path, and the prince decides, you know what, they need a guide. But this is no guardian angel, not even close. In what the text calls a gesture of mocking providence, he summons a raven from the night's Plutonian shore, and this thing is the complete opposite of what you'd expect a divine guide to be. And this guide is specifically called a Vademecum. The word literally means go with me in Latin. It's a handbook, something you keep with you constantly for reference. This tells us that the guidance being offered isn't some one-time message. It's a continuous, dark companion meant to shape every single step of the journey that lies ahead. The text lays it out so clearly, contrasting this new guide, the raven, with the dove from the old stories. The dove looks for safety, right? It wants to get away from the chaos of the flood. But the raven, it thrives in the chaos. It's a scavenger of truth, literally feeding on the wreckage. It doesn't bring peace, it brings an anathema, a curse, against the morning light. It's a total 100% reversal. So yeah, the raven's purpose is not comfort. It's called the prophet of the lightning, which just sounds intense, right? It's all about sudden, violent, shocking illumination. It carries this silent invitation from the deep, a call to a severe and unforgiving trial of will that goes way beyond just simple belief. All right, now let's get into the choice that the raven actually presents. This messenger shows up, and it brings a fundamental choice for the tarantula preacher and the Wiccan. It's a serious fork in their path. And here's the dilemma. What's it gonna be? Do they take the easy road, the one through the marketplace bazaar, which the story calls a trap for the narrow souls? Or do they choose the other path, the dangerous, completely unknown journey into the great deep? It's a choice between a comfortable illusion and a very harsh but creative reality. Now get this, the path the raven indicates isn't out there in the world somewhere. It's a labyrinth of the body. This is an internal journey. It's an exploration of those primal atavistic instincts, the savage secrets that the so-called righteous have tried so hard to bury and hide away from the light.
And this is really important. This isn't their first rodeo. The text calls this their third sloughing, kind of like a snake shedding its skin for the third time. This is an advanced level test. The whole point is to see if their combined philosophy, their synthesis, is actually tough enough to stand up to the scorn of people who have absolutely nothing left to lose. So deciding to follow the raven isn't just a simple choice. It's more like accepting a binding agreement. It's a contract, and it comes with some very specific and frankly cruel terms for their transformation. The whole philosophy driving this contract is overcoming. And this isn't about just gritting your teeth and enduring pain. It's about actively seeking out your limitations, your weaknesses, even your mercy, and then confronting and integrating them to become something fundamentally stronger. It's a constant, painful process of self-creation.
So what are the terms of this deal? Let's break it down. First, you have to embrace the cruelty of leaving everything safe behind. Second, the complete shedding, the sloughing of any human mercy you have left. Third, you're not just a follower anymore. You have to become a fellow creator of this new reality. And finally, you have to learn to actually hunger for the resistance and the struggle, because that's the very thing that's going to forge you into what you're meant to be. So you might be asking, why all this brutality? What's the point of such a brutal contract? Well, this jagged path serves one ultimate purpose. It's a machine for separation. It's a forge for creating a totally new kind of being.
The story uses this incredible metaphor, a threshing floor. If you know anything about old-school farming, a threshing floor is where grain gets beaten violently to separate the valuable wheat from the useless, lightweight chaff. It is, by its very nature, a violent and forceful process of purification. And in this worldview, there is a very clear line between the wheat and the chaff. The wheat are what the text calls the individually evil, those who can be forged into a hardened shell and create their own sovereign reality. And the chaff? Well, that's the pious and the weak, the ones clinging to what are called super-terrestrial hopes. And in this process, they just get discarded.
This whole process, this whole philosophy, is a sacred no, a complete rejection of safety, of the comfort that a shepherd might offer his flock. And in its place, it's a deep yes to the trial itself, a conscious choice to find a kind of savage beauty in the struggle and the hardship.
And all of this, every single piece, has been leading up to this moment, the climax of this part of the parable, the point of no return, the irrevocable decision.
And they do it. They accept. The tarantula preacher and the Wiccan, they hear the raven's call and they accept that silent invitation. They physically turn their backs on the marketplace, on that world of narrow souls, and they fix their focus completely on the hidden, internal labyrinth that's been offered to them. The test of resolve is officially passed.
With that one decision, a whole new law is set in stone, and it's written almost like a chant. Their foundation, their anchor, is now the prince's will. Their direction, their compass, is the dark guidance of the raven. And their journey itself, it's an eternal recurrence, a triumphant, abiding darkness that they will now create over and over again forever.
And that's where the text leaves us, with this final, hanging question. It's really the central mystery of the whole parable. In the heart of the storm, when you strip away all comfort and you follow a guide that literally thrives on ruin, down a path that only leads deeper into the dark, what exactly do you become? The story doesn't give us the answer. It just shows us the beginning of the forging.